Welcome to the table. I'm your host, Teen Wolf, and today we're going to be talking about Heavy Hitters and why it is the best set that Flesh and Blood has ever seen, and why it is going to bring a brand new era into the game, the golden era of Flesh and Blood. So, with all that aside, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's completely free, you won't regret it. And let's talk about why Heavy Hitters is the best set for not only competitive players, but also for casual and budget-friendly players. So, let's get right into it. Talking first off about the equipment, because you look at this set, it has absolutely incredible playable cards. I mean, the 6 decks I'm building for this set, like half of the decks, on average, are cards from this set. That just goes to show how freaking good this set is. But, getting past all that, not even looking at any of that, I would buy this set for the equipment alone. That says something about this set. So why is this equipment so good? Well, you look at the legendaries. Legendaries, notably last year, weren't insane. They weren't really that playable in a lot of decks. They were just like Diadem. The card was good. It wasn't great, but people didn't really care about it. And it was like a $6 legendary, by the way. But we look at the legendary equipment from this set, and it's really good, like, playable, competitive level equipment. It's really, really freaking good equipment. I mean, Apex Bonebreaker, absolutely insane in any Brute deck, honestly. Like, if you don't want to run Gambler's Gloves, Apex Bonebreaker in your competitive Brute deck is awesome, bonkers, nuts. Grains of Bloodspill? Basically, every single Warrior deck now runs Grains of Bloodspill because it's just so freaking good in that deck. Gauntlets of Iron Will, that's a pretty good Guardian equipment, not gonna lie. Aurum of Aegis, or whatever it's called, that's really good in Victor. That's insane in Victor, honestly. And Balance of Justice, it's like the best sideboard equipment ever. Like, in some decks, it's just insane. It's a 2-block and allows you to draw a card. But in other matchups, it's not great, you just have it in the sideboard. But for those matchups where it really matters, that card alone can win you the game. Because it can get you up to 5 cards going into your turn and get 2 block value out of it. Like, what? What? And with Brutes being such a big deal now, Balance of Justice is like, hey, for all of you Brute players that I'm playing against, I got a little treat for you. But yeah, it's just, the legendaries in this set, the legendary equipment in this set is bonkers nuts. But if you don't really want to run all of those expensive legendary equipment in this set that are really playable and really good compared to legendaries from last year, well, we got some budget options for you. Plus, we got the weapons that are in this set. I mean, yeah, there are the reprints like Centauri Saber, Mandible Claw, that kind of stuff, right? But then we got the new stuff. We got Hatstreak, which is an absolutely insane warrior weapon, not gonna lie. I mean, it can get Go Again. I mean, in Limited, it's just insane, and you run it, period, in a sentence, if you're a warrior deck. But I feel like Hatstreak, like, in a lot of warrior decks, can be running it. You can run 2 Centauri Sabers or whatever if you want to, but Hatstreak is a really good weapon on its own. But then, we got the baddest, the best weapon in the entire set, in my opinion, Ball Breaker. And yeah, there's Miller's Grindstone, that card's awesome, but it and no other weapon in this set can beat the Ball Breaker. I need 2 resources for a 3 attack. Same rate as Mandible Claw. Now, granted, Mandible Claw can get Go Again in this can, but for 2 resources, you get a 3 attack. And if you discarded a card with 6 or more this turn, it actually comes in for 4 damage. So, weapon, 2 resources, comes in for 4, basically guaranteeing Brute decks. What? What? This is like the mainstay weapon of Kaio. You run this in Kaio no matter what. In my opinion, I feel like Mandible Claw is garbage in Kaio because you have this awesome thing. And I feel like if you're playing, what's the name of the deck? Rhinar, I don't think you really want to run 2 Mandible Claws anymore. Same thing with Levia. I don't really think you want to run 2 Mandible Claws anymore. Maybe in Levia, but in Rhinar, just do a Mandible Ball Breaker hybrid combo. I mean, that's a great combo in and of itself right there. Like, if you do a Wild Ride into a Mandible Claw, into a Ball Breaker, you can come in for like a lot of damage in one turn. But yeah, weapons in the set are insane. And then we get into the budget equipment, which is like the Knucklehead. All of the specialization helms are nuts. If you don't want to run cards like Crown of Providence, Crown of Dominion, Scallion Flashback if you're a Brute player, you don't have to, because you can run these specialization helm pieces, which are insane. I mean, Knucklehead, it can get 3 block or 2 block and allow you to get up to 6 intellect. 6! And then we got, the Hood of Red Sand, that can get a block value out of it and allow you to draw cards. Like, what? We got the, we got Victor's Helm, which can get 2 block and allow you to make gold, and with Victor's ability, draw cards with the gold. We got Betsy, which you can get 2 block out of it and use her ability on that equipment multiple times, and or you can just get 3 block out of it. And then we got Reiner's new helm piece. You can get a block out of it and draw a card, discard a card at random, and turn on a bunch of cards like Massacre, Savage Beatdown, those kinds of cards. Now are way easier to pull off in Reiner. It's like Savage Beatdown, for example, 3 for 12 damage. 12 damage! It's insane. Then Olympia's Prize Gallia, that's awesome because it can get you even more wagers, even more gold. And yeah, Olympia doesn't have gold payoffs, but gold is gold payoff. More gold in Olympia just allows you to do more warrior stuff that's really good and really busted more consistently. So it's just like the helms, the budget helms, allow the decks to be way more consistent and do what they want to do way more consistently. And you look at some of the other equipment in the set, like the Gauntletomite. That's an awesome card. Vigor Girth. If you don't want to run, what's the name of the card? Blossom and Spring. You don't have to. You can run Vigor Girth, and it's an insane card in Limited. Flag Trackers is really good. It's not wonderful, but it's still really busted because, I mean, some decks can't run Snapdragon Scalers, and this is kind of like a pseudo replacement for it, sort of, maybe. But I mean, yeah, this set just has a lot of really good equipment, a lot of really good weapons, and if you want to go more competitive, you don't want to run the budget, then you got really good legendary options. And you get into the playables. Like I already mentioned, the playables in this set, like half of the deck, in every single one of the decks that I'm building for this set, are cards from heavy hitters. Like, the cards in this set are really solid. And, like, getting outside of, like, Brute, Guardian, Warrior cards, 3 classes that people love that have been upgraded by this set. If you don't like any of those classes, don't worry. We got options for you in heavy hitters. All the generics in this set, like, there are a lot of really good generics in this set. Balance of Justice, already mentioned that. That's a generic headpiece, by the way. And then we got all of the generic playable cards, like Money Where Your Mouth Is. That is a really good generic card. And some of the Majestics, like the sideboard staples, Pay Up or something like that. Like, there's a lot of really good generic sideboard cards. And then there's just a lot of really good generic staples in this deck that are good for decks outside of the 3 main classes that are in the set. And again, if none of those generics really vibe with you or the deck that you're wanting to build, well, you got the expansion slot, which has cards for Azalea, has cards for Arachne, making Arachne way more consistent and allows his attacks to get go again, which is nuts. And we got Runeblade cards, we got Wizard cards, we got Illusionist cards, we got the new Lag weapon, we got the new Prism weapon, the new Luminaris, the new Luminaris. We got so many good cards for separate classes that are not in the set, and like specific stuff to improve those classes that you can't really get out of the generics in the set, which are good, not just in the 3 classes in the set, but many classes outside of the ones in this set. This set is just insane. It's got a lot of great value in it. I mean, it's got cards like Cast Bones, Blade Flurry, really good Majestics that are really expensive and really playable. But there aren't just all these expensive cards that are really playable in every single deck. There are a lot of really good budget playables in this set. So there's value, there's really good legendaries, there's really good budget equipment options, and then there's a bunch of insane playables, expensive and not. This set is just insane. It's got everything for everybody. Like, if you aren't playing Brutes, Warriors, Guardians, which, oh, by the way, are like 3 of some of the best classes and most played classes in the game, and this set improves all 3 of them. But if you don't like any of those, this set has got you covered. And what would you think this set's worth? Like, with all that it's providing and all of the great quality games that it can provide, plus an amazing limited experience, how much do you think a box of this set would be? $87.70 with shipping. So if you don't want to buy a box, if you just want to buy the singles, go right ahead. But if you want to buy a box of this set, you are going to get some great value. You're going to get some great playables at a really good price. And don't worry, for you collectors out there are some gems in this set for you too, like the fabled Cold Foil Deathmatch Arena, some of the Marvels for each of the heroes. I mean, I pulled the Kasai Marvel Cold Foil, and it's like a $700 card or $600 card. So if you're a collector, got options for you. Competitive players, got options for you. If you're just a more casual, budget-friendly player, this set's got you covered. This set does everything for not just the 3 classes that it's mainly supporting, but for many other classes, thanks to the generics and the expansion slot. So with all that aside, that is why Heavy Hitters is the best set that Flesh and Blood has ever seen, and why it is bringing a brand new era to the game where everybody can come and enjoy Flesh and Blood together and continue to see great playables, great competitive options, great collector's options if you are a collector, but overall great playables that everybody can enjoy together. So with all that aside, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, it's completely free, you won't regret it, and buy Heavy Hitters, the best set that Flesh and Blood has ever seen, and hopefully I'll continue with the sets coming very soon. See you next time, everybody.